Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Arrival History. In our last video, we went through some interesting information about the G20. Today, we will deal about some major outcomes of the G20-2023 summit. The 18th G20 summit was headed by India and now it has been concluded with New Delhi Declaration. This summit has yielded several significant outcomes that shapes international relations and policy directions. Let's go through some major takeaways from the event. The G20 has become more representative with the inclusion of 55-member African Union as the new permanent member of the G20. The entry of African Union would provide greater voice to the Global South and also position India as the leader of the Global South. If we see about the impact of the inclusion of African Union into the G20, we can predict that Africa is the next global growth hub because Africa is a reservoir of natural resources. For example, Democratic Republic of Congo has the largest cobalt reserve, Morocco has the largest phosphate reserve, and Nigerian gas reserve can power all of Europe. If these resources are harnessed peacefully, it can power next generation friendly technologies like e-battery and e-vehicles. And the G20, which is now officially called as G21, has the potential to do so. The second outcome of the G20 summit is the launch of India, Middle East and Europe corridor. It aims at establishing railway and sea connectivity between Europe, Middle East and Asia. The project includes India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the European Union, France, Italy, Germany and USA. This corridor is a part of the Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment, which is a collaborative effort of G7. The corridor involves transit by ship between India and Saudi Arabia, followed by a rail link to the UAE and Jordan, and from there, shipment will move by sea to Turkey, and finally it reaches Europe by rail. The corridor also counters China's Belt and Road Initiative, which is a debt trap and has diminished the sovereignty of member countries. The next outcome of the G20 is launch of Global Biofuel Alliance. It is launched by India, Brazil and USA, which together accounts for 85% of global ethanol production. This initiative will help in technology transfer that will help member countries to install third generation ethanol plants. For example, Brazil has achieved E85, that is 85% of blending of ethanol with petrol. Countries can take this technology through this platform to mitigate the climate change. G20 under India's presidency has achieved major milestones and is a successful summit than any other G20 summits. But it could have addressed other major issues also, such as it could have concentrated on global hunger. There is more than enough food produced in the world to feed everyone on the planet, but as many as 783 million people still go hungry. 14 million children suffer from severe acute malnutrition. 45% of child deaths worldwide are due to hunger. 700 children die each day from illness caused by dirty water and unhygienic food. 3.1 billion people cannot afford a healthy diet. 1 in 10 people suffer from hunger. Therefore, G20 summit could have maximum concentration on global hunger, which is the first problem to be addressed for humanity well-being. The second major issue that could have been concentrated is the G20 summit agreed to pursue tripling renewable energy capacity globally by 2030. But it did not provide any policies to achieve this target. And also, G20 estimated that $4 trillion per year would be needed to pay for a green energy transition, but it did not lay out any pathway to it. G20 did not set any major climate goals. Overall, the 18th G20-2023 summit is a success. Thanks to India for heading this successful global event. This summit gives a beautiful message to the world that solidarity is the ultimate weapon to achieve global peace and harmony. And so is the theme of the summit: One Earth, One Family, One Future. Thank you all for watching our video. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. And we will come up with more interesting information in the future.